Hello, this is a play session of the game, the role-playing game Slay With Me. There we go, by Ron Edwards, just in case anyone other than Ron Edwards watches this video. Um, and it's a sword and sorcery role-playing game, which you can sort of play with two players who go back and forth, adding to the story of this hero going through this sort of various mystic realms, you know, pursuing his goal, possibly being pursued or pursuing a lover, and also being pursued by a monster for different reasons. The monster wants to kill him, or her, or them. And so you'll see all that when you see the video of the play session. But I just wanted to just to provide some context. This is the players here are me and Sam, who is another player on Adept Play, and we sort of threw this together kind of quickly when I was talking to him on the voice chat for Adept Play on the Discord about just role-playing games in general, and you know, creating a story versus, you know, or being told a story versus making a story. Anyway, he had talked about being interested in some two-player games, and I asked him if he had played Slay With Me, and he said he hasn't. He was really interested, so we just threw this together pretty quickly, kind of spur of the moment thing. And I decided to record it because there's not much out there for the game, so I thought it might be helpful. I have played it before, but it's been 10 years now that I've played it. I played it with a friend of mine in my old hometown, and we played several sessions, but we were sort of in this like giddy, goofy mode where we just kept getting excited about making up new characters and new situations. So we didn't really follow the career of one character. We would just throw it all out and start again, and kind of burned out quickly doing that. As if you've played the game, you might imagine you don't build on what you've already done doing that. But that was the experience I had prior to playing this game with Sam now 10 years later. And we are hoping to play several sessions to actually give these characters a chance to develop and move towards some kind of fulfillment. So hopefully we'll get to see that happen. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. A couple of things I just sort of wanted to note or think about. We did in both of we play one where he's I and I'm you, and then the other one the other way around. You are me and I is he, or something like that. He's the hero and I'm the monster / lover, and the other way around, in other words. And in both cases, I think the hero player sort of started the match really fast, and that ends up kind of creating kind of a manic feel to the story, or at least it did in this case. Maybe that's just how we played it. Kind of like, if I can dare a comparison, it feels a bit like, you know, like Harlan Ellison realizing he has a deadline tomorrow type of story. So it's a little hasty, but we're just he's learning and I'm relearning how to play the game, and we'll reflect on this and absorb it. We talk about in the session, you'll see, I'm including a lot of by talk about the rules that we did as we were just finding our feet, and then reflecting on it after the game. And I had he was talking about, you'll see he talked about how that he was a little surprised by how difficult it is to be the I player. And I sort of ended up suggesting this idea of us before we meet for another session, telling each other what the locations and goals for our heroes are going to be, so we have time to let that percolate in our minds. That may be, I now think that may be a little bit of an overcorrection. I think what you need is to improve is just to have had the experience of playing the game and have time to absorb that experience and reflect on it and realize that there are different ways you could approach it next time and try to implement some of those next time. So, but we did what we did and we said what we said. So we'll go ahead and see what those things are now. Are you going to be you or are you going to be I?
I would love to be you.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, that's cool with you.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Awesome. All right. Oh, I guess I say this thing.
That's right.
I am myself. I am canny, brutal, experienced. I laugh at the gods. I delight in life. My foes meet death swiftly. And I think that I am... Oh, I was thinking about this earlier. And I'm choosing between two things. They are all kind of cool. But I think that I am lamed and sick, but my iron will commands even the dead.
Okay, nice.
And to describe myself, I am this very tall woman whose legs are clearly completely useless.
Okay.
I'm dressed in fine robes, and I have chains draped all over my shoulders and dangling down to the ground. And where they meet the ground, there's these big hooks on them that dig into the dirt below me and like keep me rooted to where I am.
Okay.
And I have like a cleanly shaven head.
Okay, nice. That is more than 10 words, but we'll give you a pass for now.
Oh, it says 10.
Yeah.
10 or more words, right?
Oh, 10.
Oh,
no, it says 10 more words.
Oh, 10 more. Shit. I thought. Okay, well. Okay.
I think we can let it go now. You could easily. I think you could compress that to the main details, but
yeah.
It's not a high priority.
And I want to be. Let me see. Where do I want to be? The battlefield a few days afterwards, of course, because I command the dead.
Right. Battlefield a few days afterwards.
And what's my goal at this place? I am coming here to... Yeah, I have come here to retrieve something that will like give me the ability to use my legs again. Maybe some strong warrior's heart that will let me walk again. It's got to be a heart, I guess.
Okay. Nice. All right. And of course, I don't have to care about that too much. A little bit, but not too much. And I need to develop a monster and a lover here.
Yes.
And let's, like I said, the lovers. The lover's number is going to be 2, and so that is information that you have.
Cool.
And let me go ahead and think about how I want to describe this place. Okay, and then so I will describe the location or a location in the setting. You'll say how you enter it, and then I will introduce the lover in my next go after that, and then we'll go back and forth and follow the rules. Okay, so I think um, I think sort of scraps of misty fog swirl around the sodden, muddy ground at the base of a cliff where the Hyrcanian army was crushed by their enemies against the mountains, unable to flee. They were slaughtered to the last man, and the muddy ground is deep with trodden down bodies and picked over by carrion birds, vultures and crows, and human beings who have scoured the battlefield for anything valuable that might be left on the bodies of soldiers, of course. It's a few days later, and almost anything you could sell is gone, but still, one old woman moves across the scene of the battle. These by the way, are you hearing those? Oh my God, are you hearing these mail notifications? Is that actually coming through?
I'm not, no.
Okay, good. Thank God. Anyway, so as I said, one old woman is moving across the battlefield with a in an old frock, with a straw basket on her shoulders and a scarf wrapped tightly around her face against the smell, and using a stick to prod and pick in the hopes that there might be anything of value left. And the sort of the crows and vultures sort of flock away from her and then flock back in her wake as she moves across the battlefield. And so that's what we see.
Okay, so now I describe how I enter. So everything goes silent. The crows fly away, and there's this sound of metal on metal, as there's this big pile of bodies in the center of the battlefield, and they twist and turn and form this circle around a central spot, and chains sprout from out of that spot and pull out my form until I'm standing up, and the chains are pulling, but also the hands of these corpses are like grabbing my hair, like grabbing my chest and pulling me out by the chains.
Okay.
And yeah, and I stand there for a moment, look around, and yeah, and then I just start getting pulled across the battlefield by the hands of the dead soldiers all around.
Okay. And so I will go first, and as these hands and these chains are pulling you across the battlefield, the woman sort of looks on from afar, attempting to scurry away from you. You pass on. People like that are commonplace in the places you have been to, and you don't necessarily take a lot of notice of them. As you move across the battlefield in seemingly in search of something. But who can say, watching from afar? The fog congeals in front of you in the form of a noble knight or a captain of men seems to stand in front of you, formed out of mist and fog. And he says, You can see me, I know, and you are beautiful. I was once a commander of men and a man of noble birth. But now this land of the dead and dying is what I have. You are a native of these lands too, for I feel your power and the command you hold over such as me. I embrace that command. Take me as yours. I give you my heart.
Okay, so let me just check. I just want to look here. Right, so if I act toward the goal, the lever, or both, the match begins. Okay. Yeah, so I think my body is like upright. Like I'm sitting on it's upright, but I'm sitting on like a chair of hands.
Right.
These dead hands. And I open my mouth and no sound comes out. And four of these bodies kind of clamber up around me and they speak. And they say, it is your heart I seek. And one of the chains surrounding my body spins and whistles through the air and impales the heart in his chest.
Okay. Okay, so that begins the match, and this is an interesting situation. Was it clear that he's made of, he's a ghost?
Yes, it
Okay.
was clear.
Okay.
Regardless, the hook impales the
Okay.
heart.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. And you took action towards the goal, so you will roll a die.
Okay. Did I take action toward the lever?
Okay.
Maybe I didn't. I
Well,
don't think.
If you take action toward the lever, roll a die. You said it's relevant actions are those which promise or clearly imply to the lover that you will abandon him or her to a grim fate, bring him or her with you when you leave alone gracefully, stay there with him or her.
I would say that this is implying that I'm going to abandon the lover because I'm impaling his heart with
Okay,
a hook.
yeah, I think so.
So I roll 2 dice, right?
You rolled 2 dice. Rolled 2 dice,
okay.
Correct.
All right, so I have a 3 and a 6. Let me pop into this Google thing. How do I make one of these post-it notes? Oh, sticky note. Here we go.
Grab that and then. Yeah,
Great.
There
this
you
is
go.
so good.
There you go.
Wow. Actually, a lot better and easier than Roll20, which is funny. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. All right.
All right. So, as you draw the heart to you and hold it in your hands, the corpses that are holding you up speak of their own volition and say, You have called us by forbidden means. We are Orm. We are that which crawls. And we are sovereign in our own domain. We will not be commanded by you. It is us who will command. And they tighten their grips. They tighten their grips on you and begin to drag you down. Drag you back down into the earth. And so I will roll a die, as the implication is that you will be entombed forever. Or maybe I just said that.
4, pretty good.
There you go.
All right, so I think, yeah, as these cold hands are pulling me, I guess we would see my eyes, these blue flames begin to dance in my eyes, and the grasp of the corpses becomes even stronger, and I compel them to pull me even further, and they wrench me through the earth at a startling speed and into these deep catacombs below the battlefield, where the skeletons of my ancestors surround me, and the skeletons stand up and consume the flesh of these heathens. So I guess I didn't really take action toward the goal. I just beat it.
Yeah, that's
I
just
hurt the monster a bit.
random.
So I don't roll.
Random ass kicking, yes. Does not
Yes.
roll, but can be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Where do I want to go from here? More bodies of the dead file in from each side of the twisting passages that lead to and from this chamber. And they sort of surround you on all sides and say, here you are in the sepulcher of your ancestors. Is it not here that you should stay? Look at you. Your legs are broken. Your body is crippled. How can you live as a human being? How can you have the things that other people have? Look at the things you have done. The bodies you have desecrated. The horrible magic you've done. Don't you deserve to be down here? Wouldn't you be better off down here? Who do you think you are that you should try to escape this so richly rewarded, richly deserved end? And they will, I think as they are talking, you have been paying close attention to them. You've almost been spellbound by their voice and have not noticed that they have surrounded you and dressed you in the funeral shrouds and the funerary crown of your noble ancestors has been placed upon your head as they prepare you for eternal sleep. And I think I will go ahead and roll another die if you feel that's...
I do feel that that's...
Okay, and we've got a 3.
Okay, not bad, not bad. All right. Yeah, so I'm clothed in this funeral garb, and I think I still have the heart beating in my hands, and it's starting to beat. And the lever number is 2, right? So I can act towards the lever and roll another die.
You can get one more die. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. So I all these voices coming from everywhere, speaking these threats, they suddenly, I like cast my eyes upon them, and they begin singing, some song of love. It's very like, I don't know the word. It sounds like something that you'd hear in like a Catholic church.
Right. Like a.
And I split the heart in my hands, and the person who was a ghost appears before me, and the chains around me pull him to me, and now that he's made flesh, I dig my hand deep into his body and pull out the actual beating heart that I came here to find. And press him and it close to me, so his gore is covering me. So, do you think that warrants 2 dice?
Potentially. Can we get some dialogue, maybe?
Yeah, well, let me see. So, right. What am I saying to the lover?
Yeah,
I do this?
I just want to clarify, what he would understand this to mean.
Right. Yes. So I think this is me making him flesh again, and then again destroying him.
Right.
So I guess instead of just only ripping out his heart, the chains also sever his body into 1,000 pieces as they pull back.
Okay.
And these
I guess
loving voices are singing.
Yeah. Okay. That's the satisfactorily abandoning him to a grim fate, I guess.
Yeah. And he's not technically dead. Like, he's still a ghost.
Yeah, I know.
He is in a million pieces. Let's see. I got a 3 and a 5. I gotta pop this down. Okay.
So I think from my go, let's see. The lover, the ghost will say, you are selfish. You are selfish. You make me suffer again, many times over what I have already suffered, and yet I will not leave your side. Sorry, trying to think of something deeper than that.
All good.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? For in suffering, I have felt life again. And to feel life, no matter how painful, is better than the cold, cold nothingness of death. I cleave to you. Make me suffer again and again. Only stay here. That's it. So, I didn't do the monster, so that's...
All right.
No die.
Yeah, I look deep into this ghost's eye, and he gets to, make me suffer. And I cut off the end of his sentence with a wave of my hand, and I say through these corpses that I'm commanding to sing, I say, "Join my choir." And he begins. His voice also rises above the rest, and it's far more beautiful than any of the voices of the other creatures that are singing. And as they sing, the heart that's beating very slowly in my hands, which before now it looked small and withered like the heart of like a small, like a dog or some smaller animal. But as these voices fill the room, the heart grows and beats faster and faster, and I'm pushing it towards my chest, and it begins to my flesh begins to accept it into my own body.
Okay. And as you're doing that, oh, sorry, roll your die.
Okay. I get a 1. Not too good. Not too good.
Okay. Well, that's fine. You're doing all right.
Let me see. Okay, 1. Great. Okay.
All right. So as you're deeply concentrating on the heart going into your body, you feel cold hands around your neck, and one of the dead speaks with its own voice and says, "What a beautiful song. You collect little pets to sing for you, is that it? You are the monster here, not me. And I will do the world a great service by preventing you from returning ever again from this crypt." As his cold fingers close around your throat. I will roll my die. Oh boy. Well, that just gave you a lot of options there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think, yeah. As these hands close around my throat, let me think about this before I say things. Okay, so I want... Okay. So I look into the eyes of this corpse, and this corpse is the corpse of a young man, maybe 20, maybe 19. But I command his flesh to change for me. So as he drains the life from this body, I pull him close to me, and I command his body to be mine. His legs snap. His hair shears itself off of his head, and he grows tall, and he looks like my old body looked. But the heart is on the ground, beating the blood of my old form into the bones of my ancestors.
All right.
So I don't roll any dice.
Okay. Whoa. I'm having trouble absorbing that.
So I command his mind to be my own, and I take his form and shape his flesh.
Okay, so
I become him, and I warp his form into a new home for me.
Okay.
But the legs, but I can't break whatever this curse is that
Right.
I have. So his legs snap even as I warp his body to be mine. So I have his body, and I'm in his. I am him.
Okay. So a voice seems to come from the very earth itself around you and says, "Woman that is anyone and no one, there is no escape. I will not let you go." And the very earth begins to shake and crumble as the ceiling, the roof of this crypt collapses all around you, and buries you seemingly in rubble. And I will roll my fourth and last die.
Okay.
And it is a 6.
Okay. Oof.
But that is not going to be enough. So let's look at the match. The match conclusion.
Okay.
So you've got the highest total, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yes.
automatically achieve the goal. So you can cross off,
Okay.
fail to achieve the goal.
Right. Let me
Right.
get my red pen here. Is it gonna? Yes.
And then my lowest die is a 1, so you have 4 good dice, right? So that gives you the ability to make 2 choices from the remaining list of choices, and you will also finally choose something for the lover, and
Okay.
make that clear as we continue. Right.
Okay. Now, do I choose all at once right now, or do I choose as we go,
So you
based
do
on what I say?
you do choose all at once right now, and then we
Okay.
return to the goes, and then each of your goes has to address one of the choices you've made. Each of my goes is just a response or a reflection of that in some way, and then we sort of conclude once everything is accounted for.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna say that I kill or permanently imprison the monster. And that I ward off, avoid, or recover from harm the monster inflicted. And then I make a lover choice as well, right?
Right, correct.
Okay. Oh, I guess I should have crossed out the opposite thing. Here. I will bring them with me.
Okay, interesting. I didn't see
So-
that coming.
Yeah, this rubble, maybe a couple days later, I'm kind of dead under there, whatever, for a couple days. The ground bursts open, and my body, well, this new body that I have taken, is like spat out of the mouth of the ground. And let me think. It's spat out of the mouth of the ground as the body is unconscious, but the chains that I carry with me are smashing through the rubble. And one of them has the heart on it. And as my new body is kind of being tossed in the air, the chain pins the heart to my chest and punctures me back down into the ground with the heart inside of me, which I think brings me back to consciousness, and my legs work now because I got my goal.
Yeah. Okay. So as you struggle to your feet and your legs shaking as you sort of try to use your new or recovered abilities. The dead rise from the ground all around you and close in on you with a single strange polyphonous howl as they reach forward, craving to kill and destroy. And at that moment, the mist coalesce and the form of the lover appears before you, wielding a sword. And I think it's a real sword that's sort of floating telekinetically, in his ghost hand.
Right.
And he lashes out at them, cutting arms and limbs off as they come, as giving you time to get to your feet.
Yeah, so I'm behind the lover as he kind of is swinging his sword around. And I open my mouth and I speak now with my voice. And the dead could ignore the voices of their comrades that I controlled. But when I speak, the ground trembles and shakes, and they all take their weapons out and impale themselves upon their own weapons.
Okay. Good. So, with that, there's silence across the battlefield. Let's see, where have you got the goal? To kill the monster. There's silence across the battlefield, and a lonely vulture cries and swoops across the ground and lands amidst the bodies in front of you and picks disappointedly at the scraps of death and the barely remaining remnants of flesh, and seemingly underwhelmed, gives his feathers a shake and flaps and flies away again.
I looked at the lover. Let me think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I hold my hand up to the lover, and once again, I command his body to be made flesh. And I beckon him forth to me, and I put my hand on his shoulder and I push him to the ground and push him into the dirt. As more of these corpses are kind of surrounding me, and I, tired of using my legs, slouch back onto this bed of corpses that slowly pushes me like a wave out of this battlefield. So I'm bringing him with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And gross, and I think we can close out on that.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Okay. So now, because the lover came with me, I gain a die, right, in the future or something like that?
Yeah, correct. So you get
I should know.
You get a free die at the very beginning of the match in the next adventure with this character. Of course, in the next adventure we'll also have a lover in the site, and
right.
During the course of that adventure, you'll have to pick either one or neither of them. Right.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just make sure I have this saved. All right. So, should we continue? Do you want to be you, and I can be I, or do we want to play again later?
Yeah, I'm. It's not even 7 here.
Yeah.
We can if you're up for it. I wouldn't mind giving it a shot.
Hell yeah.
Switching roles.
Okay.
All right. Let's before we go. Let's look at the as it goes on for your character.
Oh yes.
Though, let's see.
Oh right. Okay. So I have a lot of stuff to do. I forgot that there was this stuff. Okay. So
Well, you.
I killed a permanently imprisoned monster, then I gained prestige and capabilities. Okay. So I think to my description, right? And I need to write my description
Right.
better. So, yeah. So now I possess this this monster's under my command. So I guess I possess the I possess the bodies of a powerful monster. I don't know what else to. Yeah. Oh, okay. I possess and can become any of the bodies of a powerful monster.
Okay.
They're not only under my control, but I am them.
Okay. Gotcha.
Great. Okay. And then I wasn't harmed.
Right. You did achieve a goal, so you gain prestige and social power. So,
Okay.
So the question is what you accomplish.
Prestige. Yeah. I don't know. That's. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that? I'm not sure what prestige would I gain.
So you established that you have some kind of important ancestry.
Yeah.
And so maybe regaining your health will sort of enable you to take your place in your family or in some hierarchy somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe
Or
gaining a voice, gaining a voice makes me a possible heir to the throne of my home realm. Maybe my people are stricken by some terrible disease that makes them not be able to speak or walk around or something. I don't know.
Okay. And so I think that's it. You can revise your description, your 10 words, if you want. You can write your 10 words and then revise them.
Right.
And then we are good for that.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And so if we're ready to switch, I'll go ahead and switch. Oh, let's go ahead and just reset this. I'm going to reset this Google Jamboard. All right, so let's take a look at this page. I am myself. I am canny, brutal, experienced. I laugh at the gods. I delight in life. My foes meet death swiftly. And let's see. I am a scholar, my mind spinning with lore and insight, but I can kill if I must. And describe yourself visually in 10 more words. So I will say, let's see. Black hooded cloak, piercing eyes, glowing mystic tattoos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on arms. Okay, there you go.
Perfect. Awesome.
That's my guy. You can name them if you want to, actually. I will name my guy Roland. It's not in the book, but it's clear from some of Ron's playthroughs that people are naming these people. So.
Yeah, sure. What was your character's name again?
I'm just gonna call myself Roland for now.
Okay,
Keep it
cool.
simple.
Okay. So what's next? Where?
Oh, right. Sorry, that's my bad.
Oh, it's all good.
That's my job to do this. I'm not done yet. I will go to the Igai Desert, which has no center.
Okay.
And I am looking for the Chronicle of the Kings of Igai.
Okay. Let me think about this. The Chronicle of the Kings of Igai. Okay, so that's not my main concern. I don't have to think about the goal. That's yours to get. Right. Okay.
Right. You can think about it a little bit, and you know.
But I don't need to protect it or hide it from you.
Right.
You can just take it. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that what we see is a great valley in the Igai Desert. So the sun is low, and in the center of this valley is an oasis in the desert. There's a large pool of water, maybe a lake, of strange toxic water, and in the middle of this lake, rising out of the center of it, is a temple with spires and broken towers. The temple's in ruins, other than one tower, the tallest tower, which is made of this ebony stone that sparkles in the dying sunlight. And yeah, that's where we are.
Okay. So in this setting, I think a sort of low, long boat with a prow carved with ancient, in the shape of a curious ancient beast that has never been seen in modern times, rowed by a hooded and masked ferryman, comes from the center of the lake to land on the shore where my character, where Roland, steps upon the boat and says, "Ferryman, you know where to take me."
Okay.
And I think
now,
as just another detail,
yeah,
I will put out my arm and pass something from me to him, something that an onlooker would only catch a glimpse of, but would shudder.
Right.
Nevertheless.
Okay, let me get my numbers, my monster numbers, and my lover numbers here quickly. Okay. And I will get... So I guess lover number will be 2.
Okay.
And then I keep monster numbers secret. And let me get my monster going here. Gotta picture this. Okay, so much to think about here. Alright, I'm almost done. Okay. Alright. Okay, I think I have ideas in mind. Alright, so you told me how you arrive, and now I have to have my first go here. So standing at the foot of this temple, you look up to the peak of this spire, and you know in your heart that what you seek is at the top. I think from the doors of the temple, the doors are pushed open, and someone clad in robes similar to yourself, good for blocking out the sun beating down.
Yep.
Comes out with a handful of scrolls, and she pulls back her hood, and she beckons you to follow her. She is pretty tall. She's got she kind of looks like, even though she lives in the center of this desert, like she never leaves the halls of this temple because her skin is like completely untouched by the sun. And she has a necklace around her neck with a pendant on the center of it that that catches the sun. It's like a sphere of metal.
Over to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will approach her and say, I am the last of a line that is descended from the kings of Igai, and that so is destined and what's the word? And has the last of the line that is descended from the kings of the Guy, and so are the rightful rulers of all the earth. It needs only that I find the proof here in this temple and present it to the archons of Zhao, and I will take my seat on that throne. You, lady, when that comes to pass, will be my queen. Or maybe a concubine. It's not good to make commitments too early. In any case... within this temple, I know that there is a library whose pillars are made of blue marble. Take me to that place where I may find the document that is needful to me. And
Yeah.
I will propose that I roll 2 dice for action towards the goal and action towards the lover.
Yes, roll them up.
All right. Well, it could be better. A 3 and a 2.
Okay.
Let's move these to where they need to be. And it's over to you.
Okay. Yeah, so now we are in the match. So I gotta think about it. I gotta do stuff or I'm gonna lose. Not that it's about winning, but
Yeah,
I
no,
like to
I
win.
know.
No, but okay, so yeah, she leads you. She takes your hand, and she leads you deep into the temple. And rather than leading you up into the tall spire, she leads you down, down these winding steps, and into a room where there are these pillars of blue. I think you said blue marble or something like that. There are these pillars of blue
made
stone.
up a word. Yeah.
And as you glance around, the door that was behind you is no longer there. And she says to you, I've forgotten my way again. She looks frightened. She says, I've forgotten my way again. And she kind of looks around in terror as she also realizes that the door behind you just isn't there anymore, and the wall is smooth. And from behind one of the pillars, a thick cloud of gas begins to emanate through the chamber. It goes into her mouth and nose, and she falls over and faints. And it enters your eyes and head and brain, and you also pass out.
Okay.
So I would say that's the monster acting against you.
Gotcha.
And I get a 3, which is okay. Let me plop that down here. Okay. Okay.
I'm already not doing great on the in-game possibilities yet. So.
Yeah, let me extend this a little further. So
well,
I think
you don't have to. I mean, up to you. But
if it's helpful, though, yeah. I mean, this stuff makes you pass out, and in your sleep, I actually do have kind of an idea. In your sleep, you begin to have a terrible dream, and a figure. You're on the desert, but all the colors are kind of inverted, and the moon above you is blood red. And yeah, the lover is calling to you from across this field of swimming sand, asking for you to help her and to wake up. So there you go. Okay. There's some more kind of, yeah.
Okay, so I will go ahead and say, well, I won't conceal my disappointment, but I'm not so fickle that I would abandon you over such a small matter. You will see that I have resources that make a mere jaunt into the dream world more than I am more than capable of dealing with a mere jaunt into the dream world. These creatures of magic and their psychic inner escapes. It's all very, very passé, honestly. I prefer to see the world as it really is, and I'll just do this mystical boom, like with my
Mhm.
arms like glowing and shooting rays out at this, this world, this moon, and these desert sands that are revealed to be like the set of a stage, and like the moon is just a cardboard moon or a wooden painted moon hanging
Mhm.
over me, and everything falls to pieces and shatters in blue fire, and I'm standing again in this chamber in the real world, in the temple, surrounded by perhaps swirling dust, and the smells of stale ancient air. And I will say, the smell of reality, unpleasant but bracing.
Great, great. Okay. Do you roll anything for that?
Do I roll anything for that? I guess I probably. Well, I was meaning to. I was meaning to take action towards the lover, but it may have gotten lost in all my highfalutin narration. Uh,
Hmm.
I probably don't. I think that was too. I don't think that was decisive enough. So
Okay.
you can
All
go
right.
ahead.
Yeah. So I think you awaken from this dream with your arms spread, and yeah, there's this the lover is kind of just lying on the ground somewhere in the chamber, still in her sleep. Because although you called to her in your dream, she's still under the spell of
Right, right.
this creature. And yeah, there's this man standing before you, but instead of the head of a man, he has this horrible the head of like a vulture. And as soon as you awaken and your arms are spread, his right hand opens, and his hand is hideous, and in the center of it is this cruel long iron spike, and he just drives it through your right eye.
Okay.
So that's the monster attacking you.
I
And yeah, he
agree.
pulls your right eye out. Let me roll this on. Okay, 5. So hitting the right eye is pretty good. All right.
So I see.
And yeah, he pulls your right eye out, I guess, on the tip of this spike.
All right. So as I crumple in pain, I I say, well, I don't say well. That's not a very heroic thing to say. Uh, as I crumple to the ground in pain, I clutch my face and say, well, at last I finally have a use for this, and search within the pockets of my robe for a small crystal orb and push it into my eye socket, uh, where
Yes.
it's uh, where it sort of sparkles and glows faintly, and I say, hmm, it's a bit of a it's a bit of an orange cast, farther away from reality again. How disappointing. Um, but it seems I am It seems I am still caught within the worlds of magic and must use the ways of magic to free myself. And with that, I raise my hands and tendrils of light spring forth and begin to tear the stones from the ceilings. And I look up into the hole I've created and say, that room with blue marble pillars. And float up in the air, and as I sort of disappear out of sight, I sort of come back down and say, almost forgot, and reach out and telekinetically grab the woman and bring her to me.
Yes.
Like doing the hero pose, like holding her in one hand, and then, levitate up through the ceiling.
Yes. Okay, great. So that's 2 dice, right?
2 dice, yeah. There we go. There's the good stuff. So we got a 5 and a 6. Are these showing up? There we go.
All right, so yeah, I think as you are ascending towards the top of this spire, now the whole temple is kind of crumbling.
Right.
And around you, except this single pillar which leads up to where your goal, the thing you seek is, and you hear below you the screaming of this vulture man, this demon, and you feel his eyes on you, and as you're ascending, that let me think what he does. Yeah, I think the lover in your arms awakens from this magical dream that she had, and she looks at you, and her eyes are, rather than nice, maybe she had nice green eyes before, piercing green eyes.
Right.
Her eyes are completely blue, like the eyes of the vulture sorcerer. And she opens her hand and she she has in the center of her palm grows out yet again one of these cruel iron spikes, and she's screaming as she brings it through your other eye and down through your mouth, so it kind of sticks out the roof of your mouth, and she tries to kind of pull you back down with her.
Okay.
So I guess that's the monster.
Yep.
Working his power. 5. Okay.
Okay.
I'm rolling pretty well here.
Well, this is some bullshit. All right. I just have to decide if I want to. I could. I still won't. Let's see. You could be a 4 and end it if you take one more action. The potential. So, I think I am going to go ahead and at the start of my go, knock over your dice. Metaphorically speaking, of course, if we were playing in real life, you would have a little stack of dice and I would push them over with my finger.
Yeah.
But
so I re-roll all of them, right?
You will re-roll each of your dice. That ends the match, and then I'll see what the new totals look like.
Okay. All right, I'm rolling them up. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is pretty good for you. I got a 1, a 2, and a 2.
Oh, thank God.
Holy shit. Okay, that was effective.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. As your other eye's stabbed.
Yeah.
Kind of comedically. Okay.
Right. Well, first I do the whole deal, and then we will deal with that at the appropriate juncture. So I won the match, so I get the goal automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a 1, so I've got 2 choices here. So as you did, are we? I can't tell if we're construing the lover as being in danger here. I mean, she's possessed by the monster. If I kill the monster, do I kill her or?
I don't. Let me. I would say that she's in danger. Yeah, but also but you could abandon her to a grim fate, right? So it's not fair to.
Right.
I don't think that you have to spend an extra thing to save her. I don't think, but I don't know.
Well, it's just a question of whether. I mean, if she is in danger, then I have to decide whether to save her or let her die.
Okay. She
right?
is in danger.
So
yes. She is under this horrible spell, and she doesn't even know where she's walking half the time. So.
All right. Well. Tough break, lady. This is awful. What horrible characters these are. All right.
I know.
All right. So I think I will. My goes. Oh, I have to. So I have to choose this. And I think my first go after that will kind of accomplish a lot, as I say, all right, this is sort of bullshit, but I think I'll do the old thing where as I feel the blade pierce through my eye and then my mouth, and I curiously feel no pain, and then I say to myself, oh, of course, and snap my fingers and wake up in
yes, okay. Yeah.
in an empty, dusty tomb, ancient temple with pillared columns of sandstone with barely visible flakes of blue paint still clinging to them, and a woman lying dead on the ground next to me.
Yeah, in the center of this. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah.
You go.
I'll stand. I'll struggle to my feet and say, Well, no, I'll just struggle to my feet and look around, and then you can
Okay.
address what you can address.
Yeah. So I think around the dead woman's neck is this sphere, and when you look at it, you hear the screams and the voice of the vulture sorcerer. And under her, in her right arm, is that of which you came here to get.
Right, of course.
Covered in her blood. Yeah.
Okay. So I will first yank the pendant from her neck, or maybe more gingerly take it off her neck, and holding it in my glowing hand, I will say, "No more from you, nasty little creature. and crush it and shatter it to bits within my fist.
Yeah, I think
No.
as you crush it and shatter it, and yeah, the book lying in her arm, like it was a book, right? You said
Yeah.
like
That was
book.
the
Yeah.
intended idea.
Yeah, there's this the room kind of goes dead silent, like you can hear your own heart beating in your chest silent, and the pages of the book kind of flutter open. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll take the book in my hands, briefly glance over the pages, and then close it, put it under my arm, and say, now I have all that I've ever wanted, or that any man could ever want. I wonder why it feels so curiously disappointing as I walk out of the room and into the glaring light of the desert.
Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and I think that is it. And
Yes.
so in the case of my of Roland here, I will gain prestige and capabilities. Add a brief sentence about what I can do to my description. I can, I think, banish the spirits of evil sorcerers.
Mm-hmm.
And I achieved the goal. So what I accomplished is I am heir to the throne of all the earth.
Yeah. Wow. That's a good achievement.
It's pretty basic, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And there we go. That's. And of course, I did not take the lever.
Yeah. Definitely not.
So that's the game. And do you want to try for something next week?
Yeah.
As a
Sure. That
continuation?
was pretty fun. I'm surprised by how difficult it was to play. Actually, it definitely is hard. I think it'll take a couple.
It does take. I agree. It's not. It's deceptively. It's
deceptively constrained.
Right.
There's so much. I really didn't understand how many constraints there were on like what you're supposed to say and when, which is a good thing, of course. But I think it definitely is something that requires like probably playing it a couple times. Like I've
Right.
never played it before, so it was
Right. Yeah, and
surprisingly tough.
it's been years since I played it, and we didn't necessarily.
Mhm.
I played it with a friend. We didn't necessarily play it that well, although we had a couple of memorable moments.
Mhm.
There's some things, like I said, there are some things you can do, like putting a little more. Like you don't actually have to start the match that fast if you don't want to.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can like bring in more characters and try to flesh
Yes.
out the location a little
Right.
more.
I think that's what I should have. That's what I probably should have done. It's
Well,
hard.
I mean, I started it, so that's as
That is true.
you
That
know.
is true.
So that in a sense, that was that. That's sort of sometimes it's on the hero. You know, if the hero
Right.
starts quickly, then all right, well, we're just gonna blast through. We're just gonna blast through this, and this is gonna be like
Right.
you know, like a little short story.
Yeah.
Kind of like what am I thinking of? Like I don't know if you've ever read Fritz Leiber.
I have not.
Okay, but there's sometimes there's a story that's sometimes there are some stories that are long and have these different character perspectives and then different developments, and sometimes his
Right.
characters just do they just go on this weird trippy adventure that takes a couple of pages just because he wanted
Right.
to describe them fighting a cool monster, right? So,
Yeah.
So that's within the realm of possibility too. So you can go to either of those ends, just depending.
Yeah.
on...
It would be interesting to play one that lasted longer like that. Yeah, I definitely want to play this game more because it would be
Right.
cool to like learn how to play it well.
Yeah.
And I think keeping up with the same characters will be really enjoyable. Like,
Yeah, I think it's important to build a grand, and that's something that I had me and the friend who played with me years ago had kind of failed at because we just got excited about like coming up with new crazy ideas, and so we just kept playing with different characters, and we
Right.
kind of burned out pretty quickly, right? Because we weren't building on anything.
right, yeah.
So I think you want to see the same character come to some kind of fulfillment, right?
Mm.
So it's good. It'll be a good thing to work towards.
Yeah, cool.